You almost never see employees hit the streets to save the job of their company's president. But that scene is playing out in a most unusual battle in New England this summer, one involving a supermarket chain, a deep family feud, and set against the backdrop of big debates over wages, benefits, corporate profits, and inequality.
You got to believe in something, and we believe in RDT Demoulas.
We're his arms and legs, but he's the heart and soul. He was our president, and he was ousted, and we want him back.
It didn't feel right. It really, truly felt like we were losing who we were, and this is our last-ditch effort to save our company.
My Ginsu knife set, sharpest knives on the planet. Me and you in our earlier days.
Very early days.
Market basket has been my whole life for my entire life. I came out of the womb saying more for your dollar. My dad has been a store manager for 35 years.
I started in Market Basket when I was a junior in high school. Started off as a full-time grocery clerk and just worked my way up through the ranks. I've met a lot of great people through Market Basket, and I've met a lot of people that mean a lot to me. You know, they know my kids, they know my wife, they know me.
It was April 1st, 2012. The driver was double the legal limit. He went to take a left-hand turn, missed it. Game over from there. Lights out.
We got a call from the hospital that said they had to do an emergency surgery on her or she was going to die. They had to take half her skull off because they had to reduce the swelling of her brain. I called into the company. I spoke to Mr. Arthur Demoulas, and just said a couple of things to me that I'll obviously take to my grave. He asked me first, can that hospital handle her injury? I said, I hope so.
The second question he asked me, and he'd ask any one of you, is do we need to move her? And I say to you, who's we? We are Market Basket.
He stood for me in my worst hours. I'll stand for him in his worst.
The story of Market Basket is as rich and full of American folklore as one could wish. Arthur T. Demoulas was the grandson of the founders of this company. He knew his workers. They thought of him as someone who was carrying the legacy and the tradition of the family into the next generation. Toward the middle of this last summer, 2014, Arthur T. Demoulas is ousted as the CEO of the company by warring factions of the family.
Arthur T. was fired in June by a board of directors controlled by Arthur S. Demoulas, who seems to think his cousin, Arthur T., was spending stockholder money too liberally.
Suddenly, each employee was forced to think about, will I put my job on the line in the interest of the Market Basket represented by Arthur T. Demoulas? And one by one, over and over by the tens, then the scores, then the hundreds, and then the thousands, employees answered yes, I will pick up that gauntlet.
But what was going to happen was they were going to break the company up, sell the real estate, raise the prices, raise the margins, and the only person that was going to lose in the thing was going to be the customers. We have a loyal customer base. I didn't even realize how loyal it was. 95% of my customers stopped shopping in my store. Those customers boycotted. You know, they stood behind us to get Mr. D back. I should have been fired because I'm being paid by a company that I'm telling people to boycott.
After the accident, I was in a coma for 2.5 weeks. I had to relearn how to do everything. How to walk, talk. I was in a diaper. I had people teaching me, this is how you eat, and this is how you swallow.
Coming out of the injury, you know, she wanted to work, so she came back with me to my store.
I honestly was beginning to think this would never happen again in my life.
It's just been a place where she's able to be happy. She's able to earn a paycheck. She's able to feel like she's contributing to the community. I'm always her father first and her boss second. and that's sometimes a problem.
Put up the lady fingers over in produce. Just put 2 cases up.
I was always the cool kid that was like, I am never going to work at Market Basket for the rest of my life. My parents met at Market Basket, my grandparents met at Market Basket. I started dating my boyfriend, who is a part-time deli worker. For the first time in my life, I just felt like I very well maybe just working at Market Basket for the rest of my life.
IDT has said 1,000,000 times, we're in the grocery business second, the people business first.
He showed up at my grandfather's wake for me and my mom, who both work for the company.
Took time out of his day to come down to the rehab center just to see one of his employees.
You stick out your neck out for family. It's our mascot now. Stick out our necks for our family.
And customers seem to feel like they're part of the family too. They've stayed away in droves, showing up mainly to tape their receipts from other stores to the windows.
The customers are not coming back until we come back. And we are not coming back till the boss says come back.
I don't think anybody goes to work because they don't want the check on Thursday. We all go to work because we have to protect our families and we have to provide for our families. To have 340 people looking at you saying, you know, when am I coming back to work? And for me to be able to say, I have no idea, that was brutal. I could honestly say it's the worst thing I've ever had to do in my career.
We just need those hamburgers tonight then again? Might as well, right?
Going to work was not easy. It was long, it was boring, it was depressing. It was a pretty crazy 6 weeks. I never questioned what we were doing was wrong. I just questioned what the result was going to be. I got a text on my phone saying we won. Finally, they signed the papers and Mr. D's back in charge.
We try to be good to one another and help each other out and be wind at each other's back.
Look at this crowd of loyal customers. Every single one of these 35 registers is open and swamped.
They created history. I mean, this is on Labor Day. Are you kidding me? The power of the people. It's the shoppers and the workers. I mean, that's a tribute to who he is.
The customers and the associates of this company here, you're real special. God bless you all.
I went to work Thursday, I had a little spring in my step. I drew the shades up, let the sun in, and just welcomed the customers back.
Thank you for your support. We appreciate it.
I think it's a great lesson in how to do business. You know, if you take care of the customer's going to take care of you. And Mr. D said in his comeback speech, you know, people have a moral responsibility to run a business so that all prosper. I think Market Basket is living proof that it can be done.
Give me another hug. And like, that's probably the best thing that this whole boycott really brought to light. That the job that I'm doing at Market Basket really is important and has meaning to quite a significant number of people in the community. Being at Market Basket nowadays is better than being at Disney. It is genuinely the happiest place on the earth to be. We're back. I love winning.